What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about the basics of offset smoking. Now, if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking, maybe you're buying an offset or you just bought an offset. Good news, because this is pretty simple. I think people try to complicate this a little bit, and to be honest, it's pretty intuitive. Once you do it once or twice, you're going to be an expert in no time. But just a quick disclaimer, every offset is a little bit different, so you might be using different split sizes. The airflow that you need to get certain temperatures might be different. Smokestack, chimney might be different, but don't worry about that. The same principles that I'm going to show you today can be used on any offset smoker. I'm going to be going over three main things here today. We're going to talk about 1, how an offset actually works, 2, how to manage and operate your offset, and 3, just some tips that I've learned over the years. Okay, so there's 3 main components with an offset. You have the chimney, you have the cooking chamber, and then you have the firebox. Unlike a pellet grill or a Kamado style grill, this requires you to burn real splits of wood to generate the heat and the smoke to cook the meat. So how this works is the smokestack will pull in air through the cooking chamber into the firebox, feeding the fire, giving it oxygen, as well as pulling air back through the cooking chamber, heat and smoke, therefore cooking your meat, and then the air and smoke will exit the smokestack. So it's basically like a revolving door. Your job as the pitmaster is to manage this fire, which will produce the temperatures, the desired temperatures in the cooking chamber. So if you are, a set it and forget it kind of guy, this smoker is not for you, because you need to maintain this fire to cook the meat. So now that you know how an offset works, how do we get this thing started? So there's 2 ways to do it. The primary goal here is to start building out a solid coal bed. This is critical because you want to make sure you have a solid coal bed, so when you put on another split, it catches and it starts burning, and then you can kind of maintain a consistent fire. 2 ways to do this. You could take a bunch of splits and a fire starter, light it all up, let it burn down, and then that builds out your coal bed, and then you can start smoking. Or you can do what I do. You could stick some charcoal in a chimney starter. So if you don't have a chimney starter, I would highly recommend getting one. What you'll do is you'll take the charcoal, load it up in the chimney, start it, let it burn for about 40 minutes, and then this builds out your coal bed right away. Then you can start smoking. Okay, it's been about 40 minutes. You can see the charcoal is ashed over. I forgot to mention, you can use lump or briquettes, doesn't matter. I was using briquettes today. Make sure you get yourself some heat resistant gloves. We're gonna take this and we're gonna get it inside the firebox. Now it's time to start managing the fire. So I got my coal bed in there, and I know from experience it's gonna take 3 logs will roughly get me to around 200 degrees. So this is gonna change from smoker to smoker. So you're gonna have to play with it and see what works for you. Critical thing here when you're starting is airflow. Airflow is huge. It's gonna determine how hot the fire gets, and also it's gonna determine the type of smoke you get. The goal here is to get these logs started, and then once they're lit, I want to try to keep them burning with as little air as possible. So you can see these logs are going to start catching in a couple seconds here. Big thing to notice is I don't have a big gap between logs. I have a little bit, I want enough gap for enough air to get in between the wood just to keep it caught, but I don't want to have too big of a gap, because if there's not enough gap, the logs won't catch. The wood is fully caught fire now, so now I'm going to start closing this door. You might not have a door, you might have vents, but my goal here is to try to have the least amount of air, but still maintain a good solid flame. So a good tip, take any wood you're going to be burning and take it and put it on top of the firebox. This is just going to warm up the wood, and it's going to make it easier to light when you put it in the firebox. Let's talk about smoke real quick. What kind of smoke should you be seeing coming out of your stack? Should it be super clear, which is considered very clean, or should you have a little bit of a white tint? I would say for me, I like a little combination of both. You know, I like to have a little bit more dirtier smoke at the beginning, and then at the end I have more airflow, which is, you know, more of a cleaner fire. And this is all going to be depending on how much airflow you give your fire. So you could control, you're the pitmaster, you could control that. You're going to have to play with your smoker to figure out what you like the best. Do you like a super clean smoke, or do you like a little bit of dirtier smoke mixed with the clean? So you're going to be controlling that through the door or your vents on the firebox, or if you have a smokestack with the option to close down the smokestack, you can control it that way as well. It's been about 40 minutes. The temperature in the smoker is about 200 degrees. So how do I know when to put another log on? You can do this two different ways. You can either put a log on or piece of wood on before the smoker starts going down, or you can actually put one on. What I like to do is wait until the temperature drops a little bit inside the smoker, and then I put a log on. Because I know if I put a log on, it's gonna bump up the temperature roughly 20 degrees. So I put the log on, the smoker will go up to about 240, and then it will come back down. And when you're smoking on an offset, you're never gonna have a perfect temperature. So you kind of want to shoot for a range. And you need to learn your smoker to find out what works. I know I need to be out here every 40 to 30 minutes, mostly to maintain, especially in the first few hours. First few hours definitely is very important, because you're the first part of the cook. You want to make sure you got the right type of smoke, the right temperature. So yeah, the first couple hours is very critical, definitely if you're doing like a long cook. So take the time to learn your smoker. Just do a couple cooks, easy cooks, and you'll master it. You'll figure it out in no time. So I hope this video helped you out. If you're just getting into offset smoking, it's a little extra work, but I'm telling you, the flavor you're gonna get from an offset smoker, can't beat it. Can't beat it. You know, take your time to learn your smoker. It's definitely gonna make a big difference. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. I'm more than happy to answer. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.